All right, this is part 2 to my conversation with the Johnsons, Doug and Sarah, serving in Guatemala with Kids Alive International. And when this is done, go ahead and get in contact with them and let them know that you listened to this. Let them know that you're praying for them and that you can be a support to them. So enjoy part 2. Where do you guys serve? How like in this big whole thing that you guys are talking about, where do you guys serve specifically?
Well, when we first came, we were a smaller group.
Yeah.
We were just starting. Kids Live actually assumed a children's home that was going here.
Okay.
The people who were running it needed to retire and go home.
Oh, okay.
And they looked for an organization to take over, and Kids Alive said we would do that.
Got it.
So at the beginning, we were involved in lots of stuff.
Yeah.
If a team was going to come, we had to plan it. We had to learn everything, kind of. So there was just there was 5 or 6 of us missionaries, and we kind of had lots of different hats on.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's changed a lot. Right now, I always say my biggest job at the Oasis right now is to be grandpa.
Okay.
I'm the grandpa up there.
All right.
Which for me is a real privilege when you think that these girls have had their life ruined by a bad guy.
Yeah.
To be a good guy in their life is a real privilege.
Yeah.
And some girls accept me right away, and some of them still look at me out of the corner of their eye, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So our roles have definitely changed a lot since the beginning.
Of course.
I don't do a lot of heavy-duty construction anymore. Yeah. I do a lot of driving. Okay. I know where a lot of stuff is because we've been here a long time.
Yeah. So
they need X and X to go fix this house up. They need a new toilet. This one broke. They need this. I know where that stuff is. I can easily facilitate that type of stuff. I also do a lot of driving. Okay. When the kids go to school, we find that having the kids on campus 24/7 is a kind of constraining to them. Mm-hmm. They want to get out. They want to see other kids, you know. Yeah. They enjoy the Oasis, but so we have the kids enrolled in, right now I would guess there's 6 or 8 different schools. Okay. Some one person goes to and some a whole van load goes to. Yeah. But so I'm involved quite a bit in driving them around and picking them up, taking them back. Yeah.
Yeah. So these days, I would say it's auxiliary and supportive roles that we have. I'm doing a lot of filling in on just, there's sewing to be done. There's organization to be done. There's, I do a lot of, I enjoy being outdoors, having grown up on a farm. So it's year round. It's a dry season and a wet season here. We're in the rainy season now, but things are always growing, and not a lot of people love to do that sort of thing.
Yeah, right.
Make sure it doesn't look like this is a dump and you don't want to be here, you know, like to have that kind of care for. So I do a lot of helping in that area. And a lot of times the girls, the ones who, you know, they just like, oh, can I help you do this? And so it provides a great opportunity to just informally converse with the girls and show concern about what's happened in their lives and what their hopes and dreams and interests and things are. Yeah.
Sarah definitely gets involved more on the one-on-one talking with the, you know, like a mother-daughter, a grandma, a grandchild, that type of relationship. Probably both of us know very little details, especially me, about exactly what happened to that girl.
Sure.
And I think that's good. I don't need to know. I don't know if I could handle knowing what happened to him, you know. So, but Sarah gets to get at the deeper level with a lot of the girls.
So in the same way that, so I'm the custodian here as well as the video stuff. So in the same way, when I have a custodial question, most of the time I'm calling Daryl, because Daryl has been here long enough where it's like, oh, that's this, that's that. Oh, you fix it by pressing this little button. Like, he just knows everything. That's kind of what you guys are. You've been there since the beginning, in essence.
Yeah,
right?
some continuity, because really, basically, I think we've had a cook, and there's one guy that came who's involved in maintenance now, who came as a young boy, pretty much like 14, 15 years old, who's kind of been alongside, watching, seeing, just kind of on the job training how to do a lot of things. So,
in our time here, we've had 1, 2, 3. We're on our 4th director over 20 years, which I don't know if that's a short amount of time, but we've had we're on number 4. So it's good to have some continuity of what happened before and during, and
it's almost completely necessary.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to reinvent the wheel every time.
Yeah. So Kids Alive, as an organization, you guys have been talking about there's lots of different arms. You're on 11 different continents. Like, just how big is Kids Alive? And you might not be able to answer that because maybe you guys are just so focused on the Guatemala Kids Alive. But yeah, how big of an organization is this?
I would say it's growing all the time, but still in the whole scope of like mission type organizations, it's relatively small.
Okay.
Well, Guatemala, we probably minister to around 300 children total.
Wow.
And then there's those that have left and gone home that we still have contact and minister to as well. Yeah. A field like the Dominican Republic, I think, is way bigger than that.
Sure.
Probably 1,500 kids.
Wow.
Just at a guess. Some of the fields in Africa have a lot of children also, because they don't have the residential part. They're just more focused on a Christian school.
Okay.
So overall, I don't know if I could even guess how many.
Yeah, we'd have to get back to you.
No, that's fine. That's quite all right.
I'm sure it's thousands of kids.
Yeah, it's just, again, like being new to all of our different missionaries. I heard you guys work at Kids Alive International, and then I went to the website that you sent, and I'm like, whoa, this is a big operation. This isn't just like, it's not that Doug and Sarah Johnson are Kids International or Kids Alive. It's like this thing. So it's cool to hear about.
Yeah, and Sarah and I are definitely like to be a part of something else. Here in Guatemala, we find there are a lot of husband and wife teams that come down from the States, and it's just them. Mm-hmm. And they make a real impact, and they do a lot of good, but when you're all alone after a couple of years, you are just tired and you got to get home. You got to get, you can't keep it up. Yeah. So being with an organization with structure and leadership and accountability, all that is something that we like to be under. Yeah. It helps us to feel like the whole weight isn't on us, but we could definitely be involved in this and this and this,
What city are you guys in? Where do you serve? And then what language do they speak? And do you guys speak the language?
Un poquito.
Spanish.
Spanish.
The language is Spanish. For some girls in the outlying areas, Guatemala, the country itself, has a lot of indigenous languages. Okay. And so for some girls, Spanish is their second language.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
And we know just like thank you and a few words in some of those indigenous languages, but Spanish we try to do, as we probably should be better after 20 years than we are actually, but they once they get to know us and the mistakes you can make in a second language, they're very forgiving.
Yeah.
And kind of don't hold it against us, I guess. But Spanish is the language. They do have classes in English.
Okay.
And some have more of an interest than others in communicating in English, but basically it's in Spanish.
Yeah.
And we live in, I would call it a suburb of the capital city.
Okay.
Guatemala City is the capital of Guatemala, and we live in a suburb called Mixco, Mixco.
Okay.
And it's just like any big metropolis where another one has grown up around it.
Sure.
And so basically there is no division between these areas, but it's technically a different name.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Guatemala is about the size of the state of Tennessee.
That's it.
That's it.
Wow.
But it's not that shaped by any means, but that's about the size of it. And I think we have about 13 million people, and 3 million live in the Guatemala City surrounding area. There's several bigger cities that kind of grown together.
Okay, I'm looking at a map right now.
We're in the suburb of Mixco called San Cristobal.
Okay.
And then every morning when we're headed into the ministry site, it's about a 20-minute drive up the hill. We live at 5,000 feet here.
Okay.
The ministry site is at 7,000 feet.
Do your ears pop a lot?
They do on the way up. Yeah. On the way down, they plug up, and I can't hear her talking to me for a while.
Last question is how can Salem be praying for you guys in this season of ministry?
I would say knowing the place where we can be the most effective in the different ongoing ministry that we're involved in, make the best use of our time and really be in tune with God's heart for the girls and their needs, and that the right tools to work with the girls, and to know just how to evaluate what we should be involved in and what someone else should to best use our talents and abilities.
Mm-hmm. And another part that's very important to us is our family.
Specifically, prayer for the baby of the family. He's getting married the end of August, and so there are preparations and preparing him and his future wife, their hearts for marriage, and all that entails.
Well, until next time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
I don't even know how to sign off of this.
I'll do it for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
What's it like being Daryl's older brother?
Well, it was Doug, Dwayne, and Daryl.
Yeah.
Dwayne was Debbie's wife.
Okay.
Husband.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I kind of think, for the most part, those two were against me.
Ah.
So they ganged up.
Oh, in your childhood?
When we were little.
Because you were the bigger one, so they had to.
But Dwayne and I, we did a few naughty things to Daryl.
That's
one time we tied his feet together, threw the rope over a branch of a tree, and we were pulling it, and we were pulling him off the ground. We got him up a little bit, and the rope broke.
Oh no!
He got his head pile drived into the dirt.
Ouch!
But yeah, a lot of good times. Good brothers.
Yeah, I have 2 older brothers, so I am the Daryl of your family.
Okay.
Yeah. Who was the most outgoing of you guys?
Daryl was, according to your story in kindergarten.
He came home. Mom and Dad went to a parent-teacher conference, and from one to the next. He always was in a different place in the room, sitting at different tables. And he says, "How come you always get to a different table?" He says, "Well, everybody talks to me." Yeah, right. I think he talked to everybody. Yeah. So I don't know. I was more involved maybe in the school's plays and musicals than they were.
Yeah.
But that doesn't necessarily mean I was outgoing, you know.
No, for sure.
But it, yeah.
Yeah.
We were all different, I guess.
All right. Cool.
Daryl's the most generous. I think.
He does give a lot of time and talent to this church.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely he does.
He definitely is a giver.
Mm-hmm.